won't hold us back, raising awareness through every track. All-Star PD Sportscast on the rise, shouting loud, reaching the skies. Can't stop, won't stop, our game is strong, fighting Parkinson's all day long.
Welcome everyone back to a new episode of All-Star PD Sportscast with your hosts, my sidekick here, but also the numero uno, Tim Locker from my PD Party at Instagram, also many other social media around the world. And I'm Sharon's son, George. As you can see, we're always ready and dressed in gear to bring you a new topic today. We're going to discuss the world of sports, slowing the progression of Parkinson's, and how important it is to exercise and use sports. Today, though, we're concentrating on something that I hold close to my heart, which is the trike. The reason is because whether you have Parkinson's, many unfortunate diseases, or have been diagnosed, there's also a world of other people like myself who've had 4 back surgeries, and really any surgery, I feel, except maybe, legs, but that probably work too. You can really still exercise. So there's really, I don't want to be rude, but no excuse, everyone. You got to get out there, keep moving, and Tim will take over because he can tell you the importance of sports. And then we're going to also welcome our guest, Steve, who's also a brother of mine. And we have a special guest, Tori from Terra Trikes, which is the company that founded and created my trike. And I'm so proud of it. It was not easy in the beginning because you have to be kind of technical, but the product itself, I can't say. There's a scale of 5 stars. This is a 25 out of 5. Like, just beautiful. When I'm riding it, we'll talk about later. I just forget the world's going on, although there's a lot of cars that I feel are going to run me over. But you got to be somewhere safe, and Steve will talk about that. But Tim, welcome back to another episode. It's always kind of sad when I don't get to see you except for this time of the month, and welcome.
Hey guys, what is shaking? So I must apologize. I'm battling a little bit of a cold, so I brought my inner James Earl Jones voice today. But it's perfect because it looks like I'm being interviewed by Darth Vader on the other side over there. So it's absolutely perfect. It works well. I'm so excited for today.
Tim, I am not your father.
Listen, I was not going to miss this. I've been looking forward to this podcast for a while because I've definitely got some questions, and these are definitely the guys that are going to answer them. So I wasn't going to miss this for anything.
I'm glad to see you. And, again, it's, unfortunately, we're not getting any younger. And I'm going to be in 50 in a few years. And I always said to myself, I won't be on a basketball court anymore. But, what am I going to find? I'm not a big sports guy besides basketball and, like kickboxing things. And at a certain point, you can't do it. And I don't know how to ride a bicycle. We went to Key West, my wife and family. She went to the 7 Mile Bridge, and she's like, look at this beautiful bridge. She rented 2 bicycles, and I said, are you crazy? Like, I can't. And she made me get on it. After 1 second, I almost broke my rear and asked them, do you have any trikes? So they might get one going in the future, but I couldn't even do it.
So when people say it's just like riding a bike, you would have no clue, George.
Right, exactly. This is just like riding I don't know how to explain it, but we have experts, so I think it's a good time to turn to them.
Absolutely.
I want to welcome Steve and Tori, both really representing Terra Trike. And actually, as you start to tell us a little bit about yourselves and this beautiful area, I wanted to also share something important. And so maybe you could introduce yourselves.
Yeah.
Good, Tori, you go first.
You want me to go first, Steve? Cool.
First.
I'll go first. So, yeah, George, thanks for having me. Thanks for the introduction. Tim as well. So my name's Tori, and I am the marketing manager here at Whiz Wheels, Terra Trike. So just a little bit about the company and about myself. The parent company is Whiz Wheels, and we actually are part of 2 different recumbent trike brands, both Terra Trike and Greenspeed. He just pulled up the van picture right there. You can see it. Some of the brands we own, and this is great, place to start. The company was actually founded way back 1996, so we've been around making trikes for quite a while. The owners were lifelong friends in Hastings, and the company was literally born off of a bar napkin, like at a family Christmas party. Jack, one of the founders and owners, was, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, was looking for a vehicle to help him kind of travel during the wintertime and things like that, and then drew it up on a napkin to his friend Wayne to kind of show him his idea. And really the rest is history. So that napkin is still hanging up, in our showroom today, which is pretty cool. So Yeah, so just to see, again, the positive impact that we're here having in the adaptive community has just been fantastic. And yeah, we hope to continue doing so for a long time. So
Thanks and welcome to the show. And as
thank
you were
you.
both talking, I wanted to now introduce Steve, who again is a very close friend of mine. And maybe you could tell us, Steve, a little bit about yourself. And everyone listening, you can go to terratrite.com, click on news, and also see a lot more, including this beautiful interview I've watched a few times. So welcome, Steve, to the show.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. I'm Steve Squires. I've had Parkinson's now for 25 years this July. Uh, I was riding two-wheel bikes up until this past year. I did a scorpion over the handlebars of my road bike, and I did a pretty bad fall on my mountain bike. I couldn't get unclipped out of my pedals fast enough. Uh, at that point, I was kind of depressed, and I didn't know what I was going to do. And my wife mentioned trikes, and I was thinking trikes were the single wheel in the front and two in the back in the basket and stuff. And that didn't really interest me at all. And she showed me the tadpole trikes, which are the two wheels in the front, like you're showing right now. And I did some research and wanted to see who was building them and learn a little bit about the companies. And I came across TerraTrike and noticed that they were basically in my backyard. They're an hour and a half away. So I contacted them, and on their website there was a link to contact them, and I did that. And within 24 hours, Marshall, who works for Tori, contacted me and said, "I want to meet you in person, and when can you come up here?" A week later, I was up there, and 2 weeks later after that, I had my first trike, and it's been a perfect experience ever since. I ride 40 to 50 miles on a weekend, except for this weekend I'm not, because it's 110-degree heat index. I'm not about to pass out in the heat.
Well, no, I really appreciate you sharing that. And it's really a different experience. It takes a minute, but then you just jump on. The technology is incredible. We can show, mine in a moment, but can be a little expensive. I'm sure they have plans to help you all if you're interested. But like I said, these things are built so almost like a car, to be honest. They don't really seem to break. I've been on mine going through regular streets, very tough roads, and sometimes I'm concerned about the safety, but you have to, have a flagpole. There's a lot of accessories too that'll help. Before I throw it back to Tim, I wanted to talk just a minute about everyone, unfortunately, is aware of Parkinson's. That's what the show is for, awareness. But around the world, people are actually using trikes now. It's easier for individuals with muscle stiffness, myself with back injuries, also for body tremors. It also, you can stop anytime without, I don't believe you can crash. It's just very stable. It also helps for MS, so it's not just Parkinson's. It helps individuals, be able to be out there. There's nothing like getting, air while you're also trying to exercise. And sometimes I don't realize I've done 500 calories, and it's just incredible. You have big organizations too, like Michael J. Fox Foundation, who have written articles. This one's back in 2023 about assisting devices for people with Parkinson's. So there's a lot of them out there, but mobility, as everyone knows, and I don't have to talk about it, Tim can mention, is very important. And I just was, important to show that the trike is out there. It's some people don't think are still aware of it, which is the problem. But as you can also see, just to kind of wrap up on it, very beneficial for mobility aid for individuals with PD. It offers increased stability and balance compared to traditional two-wheel, which are not going to be, at a certain point due to the progression of PD. I know my mother wouldn't have been able to do it. It also can particularly help those with experiencing gait issues, balance, which are unfortunate symptoms of Parkinson's. Also, some benefits is stability, like we said, cardio, fitness, motor skill coordination, and also for me, really mental. And there's so many different types of trikes, but I want to see for a moment if Tim had a question so we can kick it back to you.
I absolutely do, but I will tell you, George, they say nothing good happens in a bar late at night. These guys are the exception. This company is obviously the exception, starting this amazing company on a bar napkin. So kudos to you guys. This might be more of a question for Steve.
Yeah.
As a Parkinson's sufferer, just like myself. Listen, I know how debilitating it could be at times. Can I ask you one? The first question I would have for you is one for the people that I think this is fantastic. I cannot wait to dive into this world. But for the people that don't quite know the difference between a bicycle and a tricycle, maybe some of the workings, like how you would steer and stuff, maybe could you explain that? And then the other question I would have too would be also be, how did you first know when? And obviously you were a bicyclist initially. I mean, I know you said you hit like a pothole in the road, you went flying, but that's environmental. When did your body tell you? What signs did you tell you? Was it a balance issue that your body told you had to move from a bicycle to a tricycle?
It was kind of a body issue, but the determining factor was when I fell on my mountain bike. And I was basically, I wasn't going very fast, and I needed to stop at an intersection, and I had clip pedals. I couldn't get on a clip, so I fell on my side, and I realized that at that point in time, I wasn't comfortable on a two-wheel bike anymore.
And would you say when you moved over, like, and I'll ask for myself, aside from the other people that are certainly going to try this after seeing this, I notice like when you go to the gym, it's like anything else. When you use different muscles for the first time, you get a little sore and stuff. For somebody like myself, if I went tomorrow and I started using a machine like this, how would I feel? Just so that I know nothing's wrong. Like, what is it normal to feel? Just soreness in certain areas? I mean, I just want to make sure I'm not doing anything wrong to my body. Did you notice when you first started any differences in your body as far as soreness
Uh,
or things to watch out for?
Use a different set of leg muscles than you do traditional bike,
Okay.
and it's just getting those muscle groups in check, and uh, really I adapted very quickly.
It's
I
great.
I can ride one of these further than I can ride a road bike or a mountain bike because I have no back pain with this, and I have no rear end pain, no saddle sore. It's
And
like
what does steering look like? I mean, is it something? It looks to me like your hands are on the front. I mean, do you use your hands to turn?
Yeah.
yeah. There's a I can't show it on.
Yeah, I can point. I don't know.
Yeah,
Hopefully
right there. Yeah, right there.
you can see right here. There's a
Okay.
point. But you're just laying back. It's you're recumbent. It's very safe. Over here, the you have in both hands you have actually brakes. So a lot of time I ride, I hold the brake, but not really press on it. I
Oh,
added my own little bell because we have lizards running around here, raccoons in Florida. So you always want to be aware. I added these actually. I don't know if Tori's seen this, but I added my own, mirrors because
Look awesome.
yeah, we can't ride it without it. It's
where's the
stealth.
George? Where's the fuzzy dice? I'm waiting for that.
Well, actually, you can't see, but right here, I'm blocking it.
Of
I
course.
added it's actually a park together for Sharon. We built because
Okay.
of Steve actually helped me create my own flag for Parkinson's
That's
awareness. So yeah, I love that. But it's very safe. I think it's also we have a lot of room. I have special glasses that send music from the bar to so you can listen to music. You just have to be alert because it's cars, depending where
sure.
you are. You put your feet in here, it actually straps automatically once you start riding, and then you just go. You don't have to have any experience, no licenses, as long as you're not, operating in like a motor vehicle. It's not a motor. It has so many incredible settings. I like economic, but it has one that you click turbo, and even I feel like I'm going in Back to the Future movie, but I only use that on the street if I'm trying to get out of the cars, but I don't like that one because you don't, use your muscles as much. So just to touch on your question about soreness, my thighs like burning, which is a good feeling, but it's
Right.
crazy though because you could adjust it. Tori can talk a lot, obviously more on this
Yeah.
changes, but I can't. Some days I get on because I didn't do it for a day. You should probably try and do it 3 times a week, but if I get out there once or twice a week, I can't feel like I can't walk after, but it's a good feeling.
Well,
Not
that's why I said that. I thought it was an important
a,
question because there's going to be a lot of people like myself that are going to try this.
yeah,
And if you're feeling a little funky afterwards or a little sore, it's
that's
like
the
anything
one.
else with Parkinson's. Do not give up on it. I just wanted to let the experts tell them that listen, it's okay. Like Steve said, you're just using different muscles for the first time. It's nothing to be afraid of.
We had a guy actually. We did a demo. Territory came down to us on last Thursday. We did a demo, and there's a gentleman that I wish I could pull his picture up. He could barely walk,
Well,
and he got on a tandem with his wife, and they went right in, and he came back with the biggest smile on his face. It was awesome to see. He His wife was concerned because he used to walk about 2 miles a day, and now he can't even walk a quarter mile. He had trouble walking in from the parking lot to the where we're doing the demo, and she's like, she goes, I want to be outside, but I can't. I'm afraid to be outside because he's inside. If he falls, I won't know. I want him to get outside and enjoy myself, see in the sunlight, get in the fresh air. And I said, try to stand him out. And she got in the front and he got in the back. They went around and around and around. They were having a good time. He had a big smile on his face. His legs were turning. He was getting a good motion. It was really amazing. It brought tears in my eyes because seeing this guy so happy that he was able to ride again.
It gives you a sense of confidence. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
So George, this is what we need. We need a tandem bike, buddy. You and I.
I just saw that. I
Hey,
didn't even
those
know
do,
that.
yeah,
No,
those also
into
exist.
ejection seat for me.
Yeah.
I do kind of feel because I've had some, four major back surgeries. It does give your life back because I was sad to tell my wife, like I said, I live and play basketball, and now it's tough, and I don't want to be like, no offense to everyone out there, but I don't want to be 50 out there with 20-year-olds, and it's just, even though I could take them, it's not the same. This also, you get peace because you're on your own, unless you're with like Steve has his amazing wife. Who goes with him. The only thing that's tough is depending on your area. It's hard because I found a beautiful park here, but to get to it, you have to go through the streets. So we take the sidewalk. The other day, a gentleman was running. He didn't hear me, and I'm like hitting my teeny little funny bell for a while. Finally, I didn't want to run him over. Sometimes I'll try and go around them, but it's not great on grass. But
Well, I'm sure also maybe Tori could add to this. There's probably like a regular bicycle, different terrains. Like they're probably made for different terrains. I would imagine. No?
Yeah, absolutely. Tim, we've got models that cover, and actually we kind of have categories to separate those out, and that our trikes fall into to help people find, the right trike for them. We've got, kind of like a leisure category and then like a touring category, which is what you saw George riding and like with the model that Steve has as well, those would fit in there. We've got a performance category.
Yeah.
And then we've also got kind of it's called our all-terrain model that kind of has some wider, mountain bike tires on it. It's still a trike, so it's kind of wide for some single track stuff, but definitely, that would be it's got set up for the correct gearing, to climb a little bit steeper hills and some things like that.
So no reason for anybody not to ride. This is going to be
Absolutely not. And something else I can add to that too is, and you saw it on George's trike, and I want to say Steve's wife's trike has this too, and you have to correct me, Steve, is electric assist. You saw the motor on the front of George's trike. That's a kit that we can add on to any of our trike models. So with the exception of the EVO that just comes with an electric kit, every one of our trikes can either be bought as either a standard model, without electric assist or with the motor and the battery add-on. So really, when you talk about having something for everybody, I mean, yeah, it's just great. Electric assist is kind of the great equalizer, and it's just awesome. Yeah, the ability that it has to get even more people out there and more people.
amazing product.
With this model, can you do this on dirt thing? Because I just found a beautiful park, but it's just more for dirt bikes, or mountain bikes, and I don't think I could take this on there.
Yeah. So like something like the all-terrain is definitely something you would, could take off-road. And
Not
shoot,
this
you could
one,
even
right?
throw different tires on here and you'd be fine,
I wish I had known that before. I didn't know what they had. It's a beautiful path, but I'm scared. It's such a nice
Yeah.
track too. I don't want to make it dirty or ruin it.
Yeah, but I mean, we've thrown gravel tires on stuff, and we've done some pretty cool, like 2 day long, gravel rides where we just literally swap out some tires, throw some bags and some racks on the trikes, and you can go ride for 2 days. So they're just
Perfect for it. This sounds perfect for a Parkinson's fundraiser.
All right. Well, I would love that in Florida. The problem is, I think you also have to have the right, spacing and things. So it gets, I mean, Steve can talk more about it. He actually put an event on. I know here, I don't know why, and I won't say which ones, but some of the foundations have a walk a year, and they eliminated even the running, which is weird because it brought in a lot of younger people, even though a lot of people with Parkinson's can't obviously do jogs or 5K. You should still, I think, offer it. But I heard a rumor here, one of the events, somebody had a golf cart and ended up or I don't know if it was a bicycle, they ended up in the lake. So that was the last time they ever had anything. But I think you need to have a section for trikes, or a section for runners because you're going to bring more people to the event. So.
Is this your way of telling us that you somehow wound up in the lake, George? Just be honest. Tell the people.
And I won't because it's alligators in our lake. I'm not. I wouldn't be at the show right now. We would have had some other event, which would have been more sad. Well, I don't want to keep everyone. Obviously, we're not wrapping up yet. But are there any other areas, Tori and Steve, because you're our guests and we love having you. Me and Tim could talk for 20 hours
Yeah.
on different things, but we have you experts here. Are there any other areas you'd like to share with everyone? Like where can someone purchase one? Or sometimes I know it
Yeah.
can be tough too because some are expensive. Obviously, if you don't get the top of the line, you can definitely get reasonable ones. I
Right.
use you all because I trust Steve, but also, we have local stores, but I noticed they don't even carry trikes in most local stores, and they don't seem to be knowledgeable. That's why I decided, to go with you. But also, it just came in a box, no problem. It's already ready. I did have to have a few adjustments from a company, but then I literally just rolled right out and never looked back.
I actually
Yeah.
just have one question for the boys before we let them go. And again, this might be a little too advanced, but for somebody, again, Steve, who has Parkinson's like myself, do you notice, aside from the typical bike that you have, is there something that could be added on or that somebody with Parkinson's like myself could use that would help aid them?
There's a couple different things. There's a Versa bars, which are bar extension, bar extensions that enable you to
Yep.
boost yourself, use your upper body more to pull yourself out. Uh, I would possibly recommend clip pedals that you clip into because heel straps are nice, but if you're going to ride any long distance, the pleated cycling shoes that clip in it keeps your feet in a proper position. It's more ergonomic.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I might need that because my feet fly out of it a lot. So it's always, you have to get used to it. It's not hard though. It's pretty simple.
The last thing you want is your foot to fall off.
Oh,
Yeah.
You
yeah.
go under the trike because that can be pretty dangerous.
Yeah. And no risk of tipping over, on the trike when you get clipped
Right.
in. So
It's important. Balance. Sure.
yeah, yeah,
I just wish there were more, parks for this because it does seem, at
yeah,
least in South Florida, there's nothing. I got lucky that I drive about a half a mile and we found a hidden park, which is another story because it's beautiful, but it's so empty. It's creepy. I feel like I'm one of those mafia movies where I might never be seen again. No one would even know. But I wish they had more accessibility for people with a trike. So maybe like Central Park would be nice
yeah,
in New York, but a lot of parks, at least they seem to not go like they cut off, like, instead of having a long trail, it'll just stop and it's like you have to go in circles. That's the only challenge I find is just being able to ride it. I don't know what Tori would recommend, but I don't, recommend with cars because a lot of times these cars in South Florida don't see me in a like real car, let alone in a trike.
Little people can't see over the steering wheel to start
yeah,
with.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Definitely good idea to have a flag, get a light, and get it mounted up high, so that people can see it. But I don't know. Yeah, typically I find, if I'm riding on the road, as long as I'm visible, cars are giving me enough breath. It's almost like they kind of see this different vehicle on the road, and it's a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
So it's not just a cyclist, so they're more willing to kind of give you some more space and some things like that. So.
They're interested in it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But yeah, George, I would love to, we're doing Steve has been with Marshall out and doing some events in the community and some things like that. So you kind of mentioned, at the start that boy, we'd like a lot more people to know that these things exist, especially in the PD community. So we're definitely making an effort. I should say Steve and especially, has been a huge help. And then Marshall, who's not here, been attending events, going to things like some of these. They went to the walking day the walking event in Cleveland. They just did an event down in Elkhart, right, Steve? Yep.
Yep.
At a, oh geez, what it was, doing some therapy stuff and letting people demo trikes, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
And
and then we're helping out some guys doing a big ride, hopefully to World Parkinson's Congress next year, which is in Phoenix. So is a huge part of what we're doing for next year. So and then whatever else, gets thrown our way, between Parkinson's Foundation and Team Fox and things like that. So yeah, doing our best to make it more well known, especially in the PD community.
That's the one thing I was hoping to find. Here's one image, but it's not, the biggest thing I think is really and that doesn't come with,
Yeah.
oh, actually yours did come with one, which was nice. So
Mm-hmm.
I definitely want this piece if everyone can see, because you want to be seen. Otherwise, that's the only concern of, the danger. But if you have that, you're fine. I only changed it because I wanted to have it say Parkinson's disease awareness. So I don't know how
Mm-hmm.
many people can see it because the print's small, but anyway, I can help bring awareness anywhere. We really need more in South Florida. I'm still kind of shocked that a lot of, like, even, I tell them all the time, Michael J. Fox Foundation doesn't have any presence here, so I think it's time. I would help them, but can't do it on my own. But that would be a beautiful thing to have in Team Fox event with you all here. But again, I don't. The problem is still with the trike finding a location. You need to have a lot of land and a place people will have them, because I don't want to be. I'll show up. I'll be the only one with one, so I'll be riding myself, which is kind of odd.
Oh, I think you'd be surprised, especially in Florida. There's a lot of trike riders down in Florida. And typically, George, I don't know how active you guys are or the audience is on social media, but lots of Facebook groups for owners groups in different states and things like that. So, and if you're in kind of the Midwest area this summer, we're putting on monthly group rides to try and get, some more community members out and involved at some of the nicer trails around here. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna look that up. I never thought of it. So I don't know. I've seen like a million bicyclists in South Florida, like
yeah.
in the street, and they cause havoc, but I haven't seen a million trikes yet. So hopefully that'll.
Okay.
Well, I know
We're,
everybody's so busy and we value your time, but I didn't know if Steve or Tori had any other final, I don't like saying final, like just kind of last minute top suggestions. Because as everyone knows, when the
Yeah.
lights, camera, and paparazzi leave the show today, this conversation has to continue till there's a cure for everybody. And until that day, we have to keep advocating. But this is, like, I think, one of the best ways in the world that anyone at, like, literally, you don't have to be an athlete. You don't have to be a rider. You don't have to you could just literally sit in one. Might need help getting back up. You just need to sit in it and ride, and that's it. There's no,
Yeah.
it's just so easy.
The one thing I'll say, George, is listen, God bless these guys. With Parkinson's, again, Steve can attest to this. You have to keep moving. Once you stop moving, it's tough to go back. So I'm a big believer in eliminating excuses of why you can't do something with Parkinson's. These guys have done that. Listen, if you can't drive a bicycle anymore because of balancing reasons or other reasons, this is your bike. This is the way to go about doing it. They've eliminated the excuse. So George will tell you, I usually like to close my portion of the show with like a famous quote, inspirational quote, and I'm going to pivot here. I just came up with one, and it's a credit to you guys because you've eliminated the excuse for people to not get out and bike ride. So what I'm going to say is, don't ever give up, keep pedaling, and let's leave Parkinson's in the wind.
Awesome.
like that.
Yeah.
You need a shirt like that, Tori.
Trademark before you start telling them.
Yeah.
I like a
Cool.
trike shirt, and I've never seen a trike shirt. I'm sure they're out there. But
Yeah,
anyway, yeah, I figured
Yeah.
if you think of it,
Um,
they've got it.
I want to say thank you to everybody at TerraTrike because you guys have been awesome to work with.
Awesome.
And it is a pleasure that I've had to meet all of you and work with all you guys. I think this is going to be a beautiful relationship that is going to go really far. As George said, TerraTrike is sponsoring our team from the Chicago to Phoenix ride. They're going to see some really nice trikes, and we're going to really promote it all the way out there. I came up with a kind of a phrase the other day at the Cleveland walk. I said, why don't we turn this disability into visibility?
I love it. Absolutely love it.
Awesome. Yeah. Sweet.
Well,
Now, how do we follow those two up? Jeez. Yeah. I guess, yeah, first of all, George, again, thanks for having me. Steve, thanks for all your help, through all this stuff. It's been fantastic. And George mentioned, about how to find trikes earlier. So I guess I'll just say last thing I'll say, we have 200 plus dealers across the United States. The easiest way to, find a trike is get on our website, check out the dealer locator, see if there's one in your area. If there's not, or if you're having trouble finding one, give us a shout, holler at us, give us a call, shoot us an email, message us on our contact form. Our customer service people are fantastic. You're going to get in contact with we're a real small company, with real people answering the phone, answering your emails. And if we can't find a dealer, we'll ship one to you. So we'll get you on a trike no matter what. And yeah, I guess that's the last thing I'll end with. And again, yeah, thanks for having me.
That's awesome.
I want to thank Steve for introducing me to the trike. We had looked at several companies, so we felt confident with Terra. And also, I got to keep saying how I was most concerned because you can't try it and it's scary. It's a big purchase. Some of them are expensive, especially if you're charging it in the wall like mine and different models. But it was so incredible. They just show up at like UPS, I think it was FedEx, giant box. They unboxed it. It was literally just sitting there with no issues. And anytime I needed something, Steve and of course Tori and you all were there. And I had to hire someone locally just because they had to adjust a few bar things and also the wheel, which I don't know what I'm doing. But then it was rolling. Never had to, like you all said, look back. So it's really a beautiful product, and I'm someone who can actually say it because I'm very satisfied with the quality,
Awesome.
and
Great to
I
hear.
haven't flown off of it or landed in the lake with the alligators yet. So this will be to be continued. So I wanted to thank
That's because you're using the force. May the force be with you.
Yeah.
hopefully I can see because right now I see nothing. But I want to thank Tori from Terra Trike. Please go to TRRAtrike.com, but we'll add that to the show notes, and also Steve for bringing his experience, and also, of course, Team Fox, Michael J. Fox Foundation. If Mr. Fox himself is listening, we'd like to invite him to try one, and we'd have him back on the show. And I'm sure, imagine having him also as a spokesperson for this. He might never have heard of it. So, it's just amazing. One takes one person to tell another person, and I think I can picture him, riding around the next Back to the Future in one of those.
There you go.
It's surprising. It's surprising how many people don't know about trikes.
Exactly.
Uh,
I only knew about it because I had one, but mine was like you were joking earlier. I think Tim, like when you think of it, you think of the flower pot, like from maybe ET or some kind of thing where it's not cool. This thing I think is really cool,
Look awesome. It
and
looks really cool.
like it's not. They do have sitting ones up, but I like this one for my
Yeah.
back. I have a sitting one. It's sitting in the garage now, and I can't get rid of it. But it's old fashioned. It's like more. I couldn't do it anymore because my wife does take her bike, and I couldn't keep up with her, and I felt bad. Now I feel bad because I'm pressed the turbo. I fly like literally like a
At least you admit you're cheating.
yeah, yeah, in a good way. But I do again appreciate it. We could talk for hours on this, and like I said, it's a conversation can't end today. So thanks everyone for joining us. Thank you, listeners, because without you, this show unfortunately wouldn't be possible. And it is also a great mental break for everyone to talk, have fun, just discuss awareness, but really for a purpose. All Star PD Sportscast. Our major concern is discussing the world of sports and slowing the progression of Parkinson's until that day where we can have our last show and end this with the cure. And until that day, Tim, my incredible co-host, will be by my side, as well as Steve and Tori fighting for all of you. So I just want to thank you again all, and thank you for listening. This has been another episode of All Star PD Sportscast. Please share it. You can go to togetherforsharon.com. We'll show you next show where you can actually watch all our shows. It's so cool to see the memories and the stars and the highlights that we've had, and so many more sports to come. The show won't end anytime until the cure is here, because we still have so many more topics, and the sports don't end. And then we'll go back probably and talk about them again. So I just want to send another thank you to my co-host Tim. You can find him at my PD party. We'll add that also to the show notes and support him. I have some tough days. Tomorrow I'm going to pain management. Unfortunately, it seems a doctor every day, like everyone else out there. But when I kind of throw on Instagram for a second and see a Tim video, I call it, I smile, and it makes me want to keep doing this. So thank you again for all that you do. I don't know if Tim, you had any, I know you already said the famous quote, but you have any final, I know I don't want to strain your voice, but this is the last.
Listen, again, I apologize for my voice. I'm battling a little bit of a cold, but I want to thank these guys sincerely for coming on. They've introduced us to another world, like you said, that most people do not know exist. And I think this is such a unbelievable product for somebody who's got a disability or, like you said, back issues. I mean, it kind of eliminates a lot of excuses why you can't get out there and be active. And I can't thank them enough. Thank you so much for coming on, guys.
Awesome.
And one last thing, I mean, even as we sit here, it's sad, and even during my show, I show everyone, but I have a back brace on with ice, which is horrible. But guess what? when I'm on the trike, I don't need it at all. So that just shows a huge difference. And someday we'll be writing the book. There's another book, Steve, for you about trikes. And so anyway, we love everyone. Thanks for listening. Again, the most important thing is everybody, please share this. We don't want anything except a cure. But until that day, we have to get more awareness. If we reach just one person every day, that will change the world for so many. And then you'll also discover trikes. Derek Trike, Steve, and I do hope to see, especially, precious Tim at World Parkinson Congress, because this is going to be, I think, for me, unfortunately, once in a lifetime, because it's tough to leave the country, but to be in Arizona, and I'll hopefully get a video of Steve rolling in, riding dirty, and I'll play the song. So thanks again, and we love you. We'll see you all soon
Love
for the
you
next episode of All Star PD Sportscast. See you soon, everyone. Take care, and we love you.
Thanks, guys.